Hello everyone, I am Karan Kothari from Masters in Construction Engineering and Management, and as a part of our Studio One, our project is on construction project formulation and appraisal of a noodle manufacturing plant that deals with the feasibility of the noodle manufacturing plant by studying various parameters. So giving a brief and background of our project, it's a greenfield industrial project of noodle manufacturing plant. Today, the client's company in India has a presence across India with 8 manufacturing facilities and 4 branch offices. Client is setting up a noodle manufacturing plant in Gujarat, which will be the ninth plant all over India of the company as a part of phase 1 of the project. It is situated in Sanand, Ahmedabad. It's 40 kilometers away from Ahmedabad and it is a 72-acre plot in Sanand GIDC estate which is divided into two phases and noodle plant is in 35 acres. Further, there are two packages, one of main plant and one of the support structures. It is an item rate contract and total cost of construction is 100 crores. And the total built up area is 17,227.5 meters square. Coming to the client organization structure, this is the client Indian organization structure which emphasizes on both functional and divisional segments. It is a flat structure with fewer hierarchical levels. Under the technical organization structure, it's divided into plant manager and project head. Under the plant manager, which is for every specific plant and is in charge of current operation and maintenance of the plant. Under him, engineering manager would take care of the machinery maintenance and operations. Now under project head, a separate project team has been made particularly for this project and equal importance is given to both package 1 and package 2 as separate construction managers have been appointed for each. Civil planning, building and quality managers have also been appointed. This is a proposed organization structure which is derived from the plus delta analysis. It is a composite structure which has different organizational forms at various levels of organization. Here, the focus is on both functional silos as well as the individual product segments like Maggi, confectionery, and infant food products. The divisions corresponding to customer affairs, corporate affairs, legal and company secretary, and technical are separated from the matrix because they cater to the entire company as a whole. Coming to the work breakdown structure, the WBSF project is decomposed into initiation, planning and development, execution and closeout phases. The phases are further decomposed based on the activities which takes place during the time period and they will be explained in detail through the structure. Here the WBS for initiation phase is shown in which is split into project proposal, scope definition, feasibility, land acquisition, legal compliance and the formulation of the project team and appointment of stakeholders. Coming to the project planning, it is a part of project management in which scheduling is done by using MSP to keep a track on the project. So this shows the project timeline of a project is divided into four phases. Project initiation started in March 2018, planning and development started in March 2019, implementation phase started in December 2019, and closeout phase starts in May 2021. So we have done scheduling with reference to the date provided by the client, and this shows the milestone schedule of a project as per WBS. Here we have also assigned responsible stakeholders to them. The total duration of a project is 1010 days, in which initiation phase is of 395 days, planning and development is of 265 days, implementation phase is of 481 days, and closeout phase is of 90 days. So here we can infer from the schedule that the project starts on 1st March 2018 and gets over by 10 September 2021, covering 5 financial years. Here the effect of COVID-19 is not taken into account and expected completion is December 2020 but forecasted is September 2021. Now, coming to the stakeholder analysis include all the process required in identifying the people, groups, or organizations that may have an impact on or could be impacted by the project. For our project, we've identified various stakeholders and categorized them under client, consultants, contractors, vendors, legal, and others. Under the client, there will be a team of technical division, food and confectionery, etc. Under consultant, there will be various consultants like feasibility, engineering design, risk, etc. Under contractors, civil and subcontractors, under vendors, building material vendors, under legal, various legal bodies and organizations, and under other, it includes transportation facilitator, customers, etc. And based on this, we have made a stakeholder register with name, role, type of stakeholder, and its interest. This we have done for all the above stakeholders. Engagement matrices shows the current engagement of the stakeholders and comparing it with desired engagement level throughout the life cycle of project. The engagement levels are classified as unaware, resistant, neutral, supportive, and leading. As the project is bifurcated in four phases, the result of all the four phases are shown here. So from this we can infer that the client as a whole remains leading in almost all the phases. Technical division of the company looks after the implementation phase, the engineering design consultant leads in planning and development phase, and contractor leads in the implementation phase, and the legal bodies are desired to be supportive throughout the project. All the potential stakeholders of the project from the register are arranged according to the levels of authority, concern, and impact in the project, which determines the involvement and communication of each of the stakeholders, based on which power, interest, influence, impact grids are made. And these grids help us to identify the stakeholders to manage closely in the orange color, keep satisfied in the violet color, keep informed in the red color, and monitor in the blue color. As here the influence impact grid is shown, we can infer that the client, designers, and the contractors have the ability to affect change on the project, and the client has the highest power and impact on the project as they are the principal decision makers, and the regulatory bodies like MOEF, GPCB have higher impact on the project as compared to other regulatory bodies. Similarly, we could infer from the power interest grid, power influence grid, and the influence impact grids that the client, engineering consultant, feasibility consultant, and contractor need to manage closely throughout all the three matrices. Coming to the conclusion, in the client organization structure, it has both functional and divisional segments, and for further enhancement of the operational efficiency, a hybrid structure with more product-specific silos is proposed, and the divisions corresponding to customer affairs, corporate affairs, legal and company secretary, etc., are separated from the matrix because they cater to the entire company as a whole. Coming to the work breakdown structure, various work packages specific to this project were identified and a work breakdown structure is made for clear understanding. The structure is split into initiation phase, planning and development phase, implementation phase, and closeout phase. Coming to the project planning, the steps and consideration in scheduling a project are understood and a schedule is made for the project with the help of MSP. And expected completion is December 2020 but forecasted as per September 2021. Stakeholder analysis. Various stakeholders, their roles, importance, and different phases, etc. identified. And in engagement matrices, client is leading in all the phases, and legal bodies are desired to be supportive, and the client, engineering consultant, feasibility consultant, and the contractor need to be managed closely throughout all the grids.